Welcome. Today we have Carlini from Purrnelope's Country Club on, and we're going to talk a little about what they're up to. The project is coming out with their roadmap 2.0 tomorrow. So, Carlini, how's it going today?
Hey, I guess personally, well, but in the grand scheme of things, not a great day, I suppose, in the world. But there's not really, not really too much we can do about it.
Yeah, unfortunately. So first, I wanted to basically, if anyone listening isn't familiar with Purrnelope's Country Club, I wanted to sort of give a quick overview of what the project is, how you guys started. So, could you give a quick overview?
Yeah, of course. So Penelope's kind of the origin story kind of starts December 2020 when I started a business called NFT Boxes with Pranked or Pranksy, and we were just looking to do sort of art boxes that you would receive various NFT pieces of art on a monthly sort of subscription basis. And that went well for 2 or 3 months, and then we sort of disagreed over how we wanted to run the business, and we were both 50-50 partners in it, so it was tricky because no one had final say, no one sort of could do anything like that. And eventually I just said, look, we're not aligned on how we want to run it, and it's just making it tricky because we've been friends for years, sort of pre 2017 even. I brought Pranksy into the NFT space, and I just said, look, you can buy my 50%. I'll take my two friends that are sort of lined up to hire, and I I'd made them quit their jobs, so I needed to find something for them. We tossing a few ideas out there, and we just said, let's let's do one of these projects and try and do it right. What we think NFTs should be used for and what they currently can be used for. So our view is sort of that they will be used for so much more, but the technology is we're still early in that sort of respect. And we just started working. Found an artist, my cousin. Found a dev, someone I'd known before. Just sort of tried to pull it all together, get the ideas going, and we've just been building for the past, I guess, technically 8, 9 months at this point.
Yeah, so we got a few people in chat: Lazo, Kyle, Nick, Gaming Chambers, Gravity, the shill. All these people are very, we love the purrs. A lot of these the hashtags in chat so far already, so people are excited about the project and what you guys have been doing. So let's get a little glimpse of why so many people love the purrs.
I don't know. You have to ask them. I just try to do right by our collectors. This this isn't a cash grab. The majority of our holders have probably made more than me. And if you're sitting there thinking, "Oh, I bought it at 0.7 and I'm down to, whatever we're at now, 0.35, I'm down." Well, I'm down more. I have not made a profit on pairs. I have made a loss purely because I am funding this, and the goal is to make it work. It's not to make my bank bigger. It is to make this work. And if my net worth goes down with the ship, then so be it. The goal is to make this a good project.
So I wanted to quickly go over the monthly airdrops that you guys have been doing, and it's a little different than some other projects I've been using for airdrops. So could you quickly explain how your airdrops are different than something like I don't know, like the Bored Ape Yacht Club did the Kennel Dogs, they did their Mutant Apes. So could you just explain how your airdrops have been different?
Yeah, so using the dogs as an example, what I didn't like is that projects were just sending out pointless NFTs. And I know, dogs are. Last I looked, 2 days or so ago, they hit 8 Ethereum, which people will say, "Oh, that's not pointless." They airdrop me 8 ETH. I love it, but it hasn't been used for anything yet. There is no sort of underlying value, and that's in no way a slight on Bored Ape Yacht Club, because I'm sure they will. But there's no system that automatically sort of provides the dog value. You're trusting that the team will do something down the line, which, again, I'm sure they're doing. But it's the same for other teams, because when we were sort of building out originally, we were called the Cool Cat Country Club, Cool Cats Country Club. We even had our internal emails at coolcatscountryclub.com. And this was pre Cool Cats, the Blue Cats, but it was post Top Shot Cool Cats. So we had a plan. I was talking to our Dunko Luke about how we could airdrop some rewards to the Top Shot Cool Cats people, but the Ethereum Cool Cats, they sent out like lollipops and Halloween baskets, and they're just nothing, right? The NFT isn't anything. They didn't ever promise to be anything, but I didn't like that about the airdrop. So we tried to get this underlying value, and that comes in 3 different ways. We have the Kitty Vault, which is a collection of about 900 Ethereum's worth at last check of NFTs, which when Fractional 2.0 is out will be fractionalized into 100,000 pieces and put kind of piggy bank style into 9 select NFTs. So the 8 airdrops and your PCC all will have one of these fractions in them. And that is an underlying value. Your NFT that you get airdropped is kind of has a minimum value of 1/100th of that Kitty Vault, whatever we grow it to in the future. And then we also have, each month has sort of a theme, and if you have enough of those airdrops because you had enough pairs or because you buy them up, you'll be able to claim something. So in the first month it was a hoodie which has an NFT attached to it via people at IYK. And the different thing about that NFT is, I think it kind of bridges the physical to NFT problem in quite a good way, because you can only pull that NFT to you if you have the physical. Whereas I've got my Furious Trainers just to my left that I'm looking at, and they're great view of art, but I've sold the NFTs, they're gone, but the physicals I still have, and something just doesn't feel right about that. Whereas with the hoodie, you can only move it when you have it. So it sort of proves as proof of ownership of the hoodie. And you can claim that if you had 10 of those airdrops, because you had 10 cats, or I guess more, or you had none and you've bought 10 or whatever. And the other things we've airdropped is we're going to airdrop 2 companions, so far just 1, which is kind of like the dog, but we have said it's going to yield 1 of our tokens a day when that is launched. A little physical model can be claimed, a comic book, a framed vinyl, and this month's, which we're going to be dropping. This was probably the month we were ready for earliest, but with the Roadmap 2.0 announcement, we didn't want to do the snapshot earlier because we're like, hey guys, welcome. We expect some people to join with Roadmap 2.0, but we didn't want them to be, over a month away until their next airdrop. So we're sort of trying to time it for that. Then we have 1 more companion, and then 1 other NFT to come.
Yeah, so basically the big thing is you don't want someone selling their NFT but keeping the piece. It's mostly burning. And when you're burning the tokens, for those that don't know, if you have 10 tokens, you then burn them to get that that hoodie. Does that make every other one more valuable in that sense, every other token holder?
Well, firstly, we've had to PR change it from burning to redeeming, just because we're worried if we say burning and people just randomly send it to OXOO dead or whatever, and then
Yep.
they get rugged. Um, but yes, the the goal was to produce sort of a deflationary system. So there will only ever be 10,000 PCC, and we have said there's a tier 2, akin to Meebits or Mutants, that we will be releasing, and we have 2 companions, one of which is out, one of which is still to come. But then there will be, our token that we're going to launch has a yielding factor of roughly 15 years. We're thinking long term, and we fully expect the Kitty Vault to go up in value because percentages from our from trading goes into that. So that should grow, while the amount of NFTs should go down, as we will try in the future the current mechanism isn't the only one we will employ. We will try and get you to give up your NFTs to us for one reason or another. And we will not ask you to do that. We will try and incentivize you to do that and make you want to do that. At which point, there are less of them. At which point, deflationary sort of the market should react as you'd expect.
Yeah. So then with these tokens, I know there's been a lot of the legal side of it. Not sure if you can touch on that a little bit on how you're getting around this idea of securities that a lot of these other projects are struggling with.
Yeah, so we've got three companies now. So we've got the original one in the UK, which cannot launch a token of any kind. It's just legally not allowed. So we were pointed towards setting one up elsewhere, and we've actually set 2 up, because even though Fractional would be launching their token, we've been advised to have a company that manages that. So the Fractional Kitty Vault token will be launched from one company, and what we're currently calling, $ token, will be launched from another company purely that manages that launch. And we have sort of directors over there. We've been given the legal go-ahead that it won't be a security under their laws and all of these sort of things. And we've consulted with US lawyers who have confirmed things like there is no risk to our holders legally. If there is any risk, it comes onto us, which of course would affect your token price if something were to happen, but it doesn't affect you legally. You're safe. It would come down on us, which is why obviously we're being very cautious about it.
Yeah, definitely. And I've noticed that with some other projects recently that are getting, whether they get delisted on OpenSea or just people are worried to invest in them with that security risk. So that's definitely something that a lot of people want to keep their eye on when looking at this stuff, especially when now we're hearing things like the ape coin that's going to come out. That's going to be the big thing surrounding it. So um, it's definitely great to hear that the team is thinking about that constantly. And I wanted to touch on the fact that Purrnelope's Country Club is really a long-term, forward-thinking type of team. And I know you guys have made it very clear that you're paying the team for multiple years. So can you just touch on the team itself and how you guys have been building sort of internally to keep the team together for a while?
Yeah, of course. So it started off as just 3 of us in a pub trying to figure out what to do. Peter/Papa was customer service for NFT boxes, sort of every waking moment in that Discord. And he has a customer service background, I guess, in real life would be the term. So I knew he was perfect for the community management role and sort of the way OG gets thrown around at the moment, he was in sort of the group of people I got into Top Shot early days, which a lot of people count as, being in a while. So he's he's been around NFTs longer than most nowadays. So he's our community manager. The next hire was Jamie, who I was also going to get into NFT boxes to handle sort of the finance side of things and payroll and HR, just a proper sort of company stuff. Because I've run companies before and I had to do that myself, and I hated it. I definitely wanted to get someone else on that. And then we needed an artist, which we got Irregular Charlie. And Irregular Charlie's my cousin, so known a long time. Again, no IRL. At this point, the whole team is people I know, people I've met, people I trust, and people I want to do good by. And then we needed a dev, at which point we brought in Hoddle. And Hoddle is someone that I knew from gambling back with quite a lot of people were in this sort of gambling Slack, including Pranksy, Hoddle, myself, El Dumbo from Top Shot, a couple of others, Pingu, one of the names people might know of. And he just knows, he was a dev again in the non-crypto world and has transferred over really well. He's a bit of a Python maxi and learnt Solidity well. And again, is someone who I'd met in real life. So at this point, the core of the team, I'd met everyone, I knew everyone, I trusted everyone, and I said, look, this is what we're going to do, this is how we're going to do it, and we're going to work our asses off to make it a success. And then we just kept growing from there. So our next sort of full-time hire was another artist, so Katie, who you may have seen in all the update videos and all of that. Originally she came in as a animation explainer video person. So I'd put out a message like, we need this animation, and a friend who was in the Crypto Dads and Purrnelope's community ish sort of said, hey, look, they're looking for this, and she'd reached out, or I reached out to her, I can't remember, and we'd sorted out this video, but she was just keen to keep going. Like, you've seen her doing loads, and lots of it was her idea. Like, she's like, I could do this as well. I'm like, okay, calm down, you're doing loads, so can you do this? And then eventually she'd done so much that we just brought her on full time, and she's now our sort of, I can't even remember her proper title now. She's head of art or creative director.
In content, right?
So yeah, she's sort of managing all of that for us.
Yeah, her weekly videos are great. She always has a lot of energy behind it and throws a lot of jokes in there as well. So that's been cool to like follow along with those weekly updates.
Yeah, I feel like you can see her mad decline into insanity as Too Long in the Country Club has sent her crazy with the latest. What was it? We had the Poirot cats in her house and the sort of retro dance tunes one. She sent us screenshots like, look how stupid I make myself look for the country club.
Yeah, but I mean, that's generally what a lot of the content, that's what you get the people watching and coming back.
Yeah, that's what you want to see, isn't it? That's art.
Yeah, so I guess now let's get a little into the future. I think that's what a lot of people are here for, to hear about. So Roadmap 2.0 is going to be coming out. I'm not sure how much of it you want to exactly leak here, but a question that we had from, a fan favorite in the chat, I'd say, from the shill, he would love to hear about some of the biggest fears for Roadmap 2.0 and in developing it.
I guess the biggest fears are all external. It's things like the Ukraine and Russia situation, sort of,
Yeah.
because right now we've just had a year and a half of up only, everyone happy, everyone sort of, the SpongeBob playing outside meme while everyone looks in through the shutters. And we're building stuff that we think is great, and we want there to be lots of people to come and appreciate. But I know if it's a full on bear market happens, we will still be building Roadmap 2.0, but there won't be as many people sticking around, spending the time sort of to enjoy it, just because I know that's what happens. Twitter will slow down, people will stop looking in Discord so much, and then they won't come and play with X, Y, and Z that we've got in this roadmap here. And I mean, some of it again does rely on external people, not just external conditions. So we do have, like, the biggest thing on our roadmap does involve outsourcing to another company, and they do have to deliver. And by all means, they have shown that they will deliver, and everyone sort of knows that they do, and everyone's very hyped whenever a project mentions they're working with this company. But it's okay. So I'll say Roadmap 2.0 is an image of a golf course, and it's 9 holes, and each one has sort of a different thing that it mentions on it, and it's kind of grouped together. It's slightly chronological, but it's grouped together more in themes. So the last hole 9, the big one is this team will deliver on our NFT world plot, and it will be a huge country club with portals to 3 different games, and you go through a portal and suddenly you're in a game with like stats, a leaderboard, competitions. You go through a different game, it's a completely different style of game. You go through a different portal, it's a completely different style of game, and all of these can be linked into our token or maybe world, and that's sort of version 1 of our metaverse. We'll very much use, say, Sandbox or Voxels or wherever. We will build in other places too, if deemed better at a certain point. But right now, with sort of the Minecraft underlying open source tech, NFT worlds have the clear jump on everyone, because they have 20 years of testing by millions of people. It's almost certainly technically the most sold game ever, I assume. I know it was Wii Sports for a while, but I consider that free. So
what do you think about this idea where obviously we saw a run with NFT worlds the past week or two, and now we've seen some secondary like world or land type projects that have been growing just off of the heels of that. Do you think that model of having a world and others can use plots of land, and then you can generate income while being on that plot of land? Like I know Sandbox is doing that type of thing. This sort of idea of like virtual real estate. Do you think that's where a lot of these NFT projects are going to be going?
right now, I think so. Yes, just because it works and it's there now. Long term, I imagine projects that the big projects might try and do it themselves, and we're talking 5-10 years, just because then you could link it into other it depends how NFT worlds goes, or Sandbox or Decentraland. If they give the communities quite a lot of control, because I can imagine you'll be doing things like there'll be companies selling stuff from within NFT worlds where you can just go up to a counter and buy something with token, and it gets delivered to you, or it's an NFT that gets sent to you, or it's an access pass, or all of these things. And I think most will do it now because it's possible. It's one of these tech things that we can currently do to a pretty good degree. Um, and I know all of the sort of NFT Minecraft building companies are, they're all very busy. There's this high demand. It's a dog eat dog world to get on those lists at the moment.
Yeah.
So I would imagine. I would imagine. I don't know who else is doing it yet, and I think I will soon. And obviously I won't be able to. I'll be under an NDA and I can't speak about that.
Right.
But I imagine it will be a lot.
Yeah. And I mean, Lazo's saying in chat that he's going to get a purr tattoo. I personally, I wouldn't recommend that, but I mean, you do you. I mean, if you love the purrs, then and want a tattoo, you go for it. But so there's going to be 9 holes as part of this roadmap, and essentially it's the build up to. Are any of the holes, have they already happened? Is that part of the airdrops in the past, or maybe the companions themselves?
Hole 1 is complete roadmap 1.0.
Okay.
Because we have 2 things that we haven't done yet. One because of a technicality. So one of them was, it's almost a complete nothingness thing. It was 5 disc plates that we were going to send out. It was like our 10%. If we mint 10%, we'll send out 5 disc plates to winners. And when I was trying to make these disc plates, where is it? It's somewhere around here. They would only print it in medium, and it just looked so underwhelming that we reached out. The NFT Yoda had his Henry the Grape made by some in France, and it just looked much better. So we've ordered a sample, one of those, and we'll be sending out probably 10 instead because of the delay or something like that. But it is much higher quality than display. And the second one is our final piece was a short anime video, sort of the cats, maybe going around the country club. And the issue there was because we then added the airdrops. Our artist was very busy. Like they've constantly been just constantly been working. Even bringing in Katie, and she's constantly working. So we just haven't deemed it the right plan to move them off, say the airdrops or the roadmap or anything else to get that part of the roadmap complete. So the first part of this roadmap is saying we will do that. We're just trying to get into a position where it makes more sense, because if I'm honest, I don't really ever have anyone ask about it, where I always do have people ask about token. So if it's more of a importance thing. And yes, Eric, I can read.
Yeah, so now when it comes to these sort of next steps, I know that a lot of projects in 2022 especially has been a big focus around games and gaming NFTs. Are you thinking about going down that path? I know that it's going to cost a lot more, so maybe your version of that is this world style. But what's sort of your take on how the gaming NFTs, at least over the past, like, let's say 3-4 months, do you think a lot of them have been lacking? Is it a place where you think is too underdeveloped, and maybe that's way down the road?
I think they're all underdeveloped. I haven't seen a single game that I would actually play, and I'm a complete gaming degenerate. I've been playing games all my life, and I still can't fully get my head around a gaming method that isn't going to be destroyed horrifically. So, something in the NFT space is a lot of people, myself included, their first metaverse of such was RuneScape. And one of the big issues with RuneScape is botters, and there are even some issues with Venezuelan farmers, who are people who simply play the game to make in-game money and then they sell it IRL. And that's not allowed. It's against the game rules. But they do it anyway. Sometimes they get caught, they get banned, etc. But that destabilizes the economy. So you somehow have to build. People say we're making the RuneScape of NFTs or whatever, but they have to figure out a way to make the economy work with everything financially incentivized.
Right.
That's the issue. If we saw with Axie, what I can't even remember what country it was, but it was
Philippines?
the Philippines. That's it, and everyone was basically farming, and there were even these sort of videos you could watch of people with hundreds of phones just playing them as much as they could. It was, and they have actually released info recently saying they're changing from play to earn to play and earn, which is obviously better. Because my view is you'd need something like a Clash of Clans, where instead of paying $9.99 for loads of gems that goes to the company, you're buying the token, which is the gems, but that's dispersed between the winners of the game. So people have to want to play it. It can't just be profitable to play. You need to want to play, and if you're good at it, you profit, not just grind. Because the issue is grinding, and anyone can grind, and if anyone can grind, a bot can grind. And bots are so damn smart now. Like, if anyone is financially incentivized to bot, and I'm talking about gaming bots, not the buy 950 tubby cats.
Yeah.
But they can just be so much better than players at really complex things now. Like, it used to be just copy my clicks, but now it's insane. So games are the easy way to use a token in theory, because you can say the token will be used in the game, and you daily yield this token for the NFT, and then you spend it in the game to unlock a boss, or to buy some food, or to buy a cosmetic. But people need to want that. People need to want to part with their money, in my opinion, for that to work.
Somewhat of like a gambling aspect. I know with say Zed, right? There's the entry fee to enter a race, and then a few of the people in the race will then get funds back. Are you thinking of more that style, where it's somewhat gambling, an entry fee, and then you can win at the end? Say it's like a Hearthstone match. You pay to enter, and the winner gets the payment back? Or you're saying that'll still get botted too much?
Well, at the start, everything will be completely free. The goal will be, hey, we've spent a lot of money making this. Come and play it. Like, we will maybe even give out token to top of the leaderboard every day, or top of the leaderboard every week. Sort of depends how active it is. Because we will have a reserve of token ourselves to try and sort of use as a social currency. So it won't be starting out with the core mechanics to try and build up token integration. We will probably use it to try and build up the game, to try and make people want to play the game, to come and give us feedback about what we should change. Long term, I would like to implement that, and it's about how to do it right. So my worry with the games we have now, Axie being the furthest, and they're making the change that I like to see, the play and DFK, lot of bags there, a lot of lockjaw, a lot of heroes, but I just don't have the motivation to log in however many times a day to fish, or to farm, or to mine, because it's not a game. That's money,
Work.
right?
Yeah.
You're just working for Jewel, and that's great, but that's not great for me. That's not what I want to do. Some people do, and that's fine. But what I don't like is what I saw in the CryptoKitties world. Is I know that can be botted. that sort of thing could be botted in 2017, so I know it can be botted now.
Hmm.
And me not having a bot and me sleeping means I've fallen behind. And me falling behind demotivates me. You know, my heroes are level 4 or whatever, and then you see heroes at a level I haven't even looked recently, so I don't know what.
10 or something.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's just like, oh, so they've got a bot and I don't, so now my heroes suck, and that's the sort of thing I want to avoid.
Hmm.
And to be honest, everything else isn't a game.
Yeah.
Everything else that claims to be, I guess, Kongs have a game coming, Cool Cats have a game coming, but again, we our dev famously hates Polygon, um, and Polygon is rugging Cool Cats,
Yeah.
and Cyberkongs are going over there as well. And again, that sounds DFK, which we we don't really know because we haven't seen it fully. But I met Owl in real life who was explaining it, and I got a bit drunk, so I don't really remember it all. But I'm not sure it's fun yet. It's
Right.
the thing is, all of these are steps in the right direction, which you have to do. The gaming world did this on its own, and the issue is we are now. I know, games exist out there that they look great and they've got these great mechanics, but these are so very different. When you add money into a game, it is so hard, and that's why we have to. That's why we have to build it this way. We have to do it slowly. We have to do it the way where people go, oh, but games are better now already. Why do I want to play this? Well, you know what? Radio was better when the internet came out, and now it's not. So it's that famous Bill Gates on a chat show about he was so excited that you could listen to the commentary on the internet of, I think it was a basketball game, and whoever the host, I'm sure he's really famous, some American presenter, just goes, have you never heard of radio? And he goes, oh, yeah, yeah, but you can listen to it after the game as well. And he goes, have you ever heard of a tape recorder? And the point being, it's not going to be better yet.
Hmm.
And we know this. The people building know this, but, the media who are just like, oh, people are playing for this dumb game, they don't know this because they never really properly research. And if you look at their research, they show their Axie that they bought, and you look and they bought it 30 days ago and did nothing. They, blockchain helps, but just so we can check sort of what
Yeah.
research they're putting in.
Yeah, it's almost like sort of in my mind, the games that I think could work are like what Parallel Alpha is doing, the card games, or it's almost like the NFT can't be first. Like the game exists and the NFT side is buying skins or buying tokens for the game, kind of like what you were mentioning earlier. Maybe it's not the initial game itself, but then the like microtransactions that we're used to in other games are tokens that are on the blockchain instead of just in-game currency. Maybe something like that could work, but I agree that like right now a lot of these games are just clicking buttons and they're not that fun. They're not really games yet, and games are hard to develop.
I imagine the first one that takes off, my bet, is a Dark Forest type game. Because I did play games like that for a time called Tribal Wars, and it's not the same, but it was close. And even before that, way before that, before I properly played any game, I played a game called Utopia, and that was, I think that's still going, like must be 25 years later or something mad, and there's no graphics, it's all text, um, and you were just sort of building up based on stats and numbers. So that sort of thing can easily be on the blockchain and manipulated from the blockchain and not need, you don't need to use WASD to move around and that sort of thing. So it could be on a cookie clicker or paperclip game, a sort of idle game.
Yeah.
I could imagine. I think that was World of Goo, but that might be 2019. We had that sort of thing.
Yeah, or like there's dungeon crawlers. I know that like Crypto Raiders is kind of doing a dungeon crawler, but those just they aren't as fun either. And I'm not sure how many people that are asking for the games are really trying to be playing games. Like you said earlier, a lot of them are probably more focused on the can I earn money doing this side. And, I mean, it's all different based on who the person buying in is, but um, it'll be interesting to watch those styles and see how it develops over time. I think, 5 years from now, there'll be more developed games. But as of now, it seems like it's still too early in a lot of the cycles of these projects to get into that.
Yeah, I mean, and this is why I'm excited for our game.
Yeah.
Just because I was speaking to the guy who sort of runs the company who's gonna build it, and so much is possible within these games because, like, they have been doing this for years. You the NFT part almost doesn't matter because it's built within the NFT already in a base code that they've worked in over and over. That they've done lots of things for Microsoft and in sort of Minecraft, and now it's just the same code within an NFT. There are some hurdles for them to overcome, which they're working on all the time. But like when I hopped on for a meeting and I was told all the things that could do, like my mind was completely blown just because it was almost like he just said, "What can you think of? Because we can do it." And I was like, "Whoa." So the goal is going to be to build out our lore within this game.
Hmm.
So there
The
is.
golf lore or
Oh,
the cat lore or a little both.
well, I have no idea what golf floor is. So
Well, as Shill is talking about in the chat, he's wondering if this is going to be more like Wii Golf or like Tiger Woods 99.
honestly, for that, I do not know. In my head, it's a bit like Mario Golf,
Yeah.
but you're in a Minecraft world, so don't expect non-blocky graphics or non-Minecrafty mechanics. But so the other game is going to be how we sort of introduce why our tier twos are the way they are. So our tier twos, there's two themes to our tier twos, and they will be introduced in one of the games.
Okay. Yeah, and then another question that we had a little earlier in the chat, are there ways to collaborate even more with other projects that have similar visions for the metaverse and community?
Other ways with other
So like
projects.
partnerships with other projects, are you exploring that much?
Yes, so that again, that's on Roadmap 2.0. We're going to be much more aggressive with working with high end sort of projects that we deem to be doing it right. And right now, we're kind of waiting for Token, because with Token, we'll be able to create an NFT that will yield some token every day, which we can use as sort of as a bartering chip to be like, hey, look, if we're punching as such, you know, we're punching for a higher ranked community to work with them. We could offer them a sweetener in an NFT which yields our token,
Right.
and that also connects them to us, because if that yields token for 15 years, they are interested in what we are doing for the whole time, because they can dump their bags, but they can dump them slowly, and it's in their interest to work with us and to help us promote and all of this. So that's where we're really waiting for the big collabs.
Yeah, that'll be cool to watch because I know I get excited when teams and projects group up together, especially if they're like smaller projects that have similar, like obviously the community around Purrs. Like we have plenty of people in chat that are, the we love the Purrs, and the community side of it is pretty strong. So what have you guys been doing as far as like community events? How regular are you doing this for those that may not already be part of the Per community?
I think one of the key things for us is the communication. So people feel like they don't have to read our Discord every day just to keep up. And I feel that myself. If I have, so many NFTs, I'm in so many different projects that I have no idea what they're doing because I just can't keep up with that many Discords. I'm thinking about NFTs every second of the day. It's my job and my hobby, and don't really go outside much anymore because it's just NFT, NFT, NFT.
Yeah.
And I can't keep up with all the projects I'm in. And I ask, if I ask people like, "Hey, why should I buy this?" So there's been a few that I've asked about recently, and people just go, they're just great, man. They're really professional. Like this was one of the answers for a project that has I won't name it, but it's pumped recently it was like a free mint, and it's now I think it's a free floor. The team's really professional. I appreciate that, but they weren't able to point me at anything. So I always dig when I question these things. Someone says, "Oh, they're great because of this," and I'm like, "Oh, can you point me an example?" Maybe people just think I want to trip them up. In reality, I want to see what they've done that makes people care about their project so I can copy it. But, don't tell everyone that. They're really professional. Okay, can you give me any examples? Yeah, come to their Discord. The community is really special. Oh, any examples? Yeah, come to the Discord, have a look. And I joined the Discord because I'd been told this. It's a project I've been asking about maybe, every fortnight for maybe 2 months. And it's always come to the Discord, always come to this. So eventually I caved a few days ago. And I just couldn't see anything at first glance. There's so many channels, and the announcements, I read maybe the last 20 and nothing seemed too special to me. It was like I just needed somewhere to go and properly see. So I know we're not perfect, and I know there's so much more we can do, but we have the weekly YouTube videos, we have the weekly Kitty Vault newsletter, we have weekly Medium articles. Dangy's going to be doing interviews with the team and sort of community members in time, sort of chats like this, I guess, to put out so people can know more about us. And on Roadmap 2.0, I haven't said this before, but it's a Web 2.0 complete sort of rebrand. We want the website to be somewhere people want to go. We're like right now, if you're in an NFT project, generally you go to OpenSea or the Discord. When I was in Everyone Drink, CryptoKitties, you only went to CryptoKitties. That was, you went there. Everything was there. All the info was there. And then you'd chat to people on Discord about it. So we want the website to be useful. Right. And that's one of the things that we really, really want to push.
Even like hosting a marketplace on the website, or do you think that is a little too far out there?
I'll be honest, I have thought about that. It's not on Roadmap 2.0. I'm not sure how tricky that would be. And I hope Hoddle's not listening, because he'd probably kill me just for even coming up, just thinking about it. But the benefit generally, I don't think it's there, really. Like, because OpenSea is, the marketing, and then there are competing marketplaces coming as well.
Yeah,
you'd have to work with Gem and Genie as well. Like you'd have to be able to sweep, and at that point, if it's just an aggregator anyway, our marketplace percentage is going to be an issue, because I see the way this is going is as more and more marketplaces crop up, more and more people will use, for example, Gem. And Gem will just show you the lowest percentage. Gem doesn't care if it's buying from OpenSea or LooksRare.
Right.
And it will just bake in all the percentages. And eventually OpenSea will have to lower their fee because everyone's listing at the same price, but LooksRare is at 2%. Maybe, whatever marketplace comes out next month is 1.5, and the one after that is 1.
Yeah. A race to the bottom, basically.
It just will be, because OpenSea takes in so much money, and they surely don't need, I don't want to talk about the inner workings of their finances, but they can't be spending it apart from paying out exploits.
Yeah, and then the Chill has another question for you.
Of course it does.
Um, so as you've worked through Roadmap 2.0, what has been the hardest decision, i.e., what's the most difficult thing to cut?
I can't tell you what the most difficult thing not to put on the roadmap is because I think it's really cool and I want to do it. And if we can do it, we will do it. So I don't want to ruin that surprise.
Yeah.
And you might see it with grandmas, and if not, you might see it with another NFT, which we have said this is coming for a while. It's been a lot of videos. It's been spoken about openly, but it could be an NFT now. As of the last week, one thing could be an NFT that originally wasn't going to be an NFT. That if it can work, will be a very very cool NFT.
Okay.
Like technically, like I will look at it and be happy.
Yeah, so the thing that you've sort of cut is almost just not ready yet or still working out the
Kind of
kinks.
too new, I'd say. I don't
Yeah.
think I've cut anything because nothing I've cut has been hard to cut because if I cut it, it's just because it's not worthy of Roadmap 2.0. There is nothing sort of huge, I guess on Roadmap 2.0 we don't have buy a country club. I would love to buy a country club,
Yeah.
but I'm not going to. If I put something on Roadmap 2.0, we're going to deliver it. And there is no way that I could ever conform to saying without question we will buy a country club because it's there's just too much up in the air that we would need a huge raise. Country clubs are expensive compared to a clubhouse, for example, which could just be a building, whereas a country club, you need fountains and a golf course, and I don't know. Ours would probably have paintball and quad bikes that you fly off hills and stuff.
And then one more sort of a burning question. Not sure if you can actually answer this or not, but when token?
When token will be after all the airdrops for sure. Probably after most of them have been delivered. Because I could launch token. I'd say I could have Hodl launch token. Soon. It may not be perfect, but technically getting the token out there isn't the hard thing. The hard thing is doing it right, thinking about the models. So some projects, they make you lock up your NFT to get token. I don't like that at all. Just because as we progress, I think you're harming the project on and on. This isn't a short-term release token to only get your air quotes passive income, take your NFT off the marketplace so we pump. It's not that. The only reason to lock up and stake your NFT and not have you own it, because if you're staking it in a contract, you can't have that as a hexagon on Twitter. You can't get into parties with your NFT. You can't prove you own that. It is not yours. It is in a contract that you can pull out, but it's not in your wallet. It might as well be in Coinbase for all that matters. So we're looking at, to launch it properly in a way that I'd like, it would take a bit longer than just instantly. But the main thing is we want that purpose right out the gate. We don't want to release token and you're just earning it pointlessly for 3 weeks before something comes out. And we have things, like we have the ideas, it's just getting the art ready for it. And currently our artists are going hard on we got marketing stuff coming out tomorrow. We have obviously Roadmap 2.0 is a big artistic undertaking, and we have the second companion that they've been working on, and then they need to work on a whole something else for token, and we need to make that work. So it's just, we want the purpose of token.
Right.
If I had to guess, maybe 3 months after the last airdrop. No, that's further than I think. Maybe middle of the year. We'll aim for middle of the year. But I'm saying that, and it's March next month, and
Yeah.
so I'm not promising anything, but we're just trying to. We'll be bringing it out when I think it makes sense. Because like I said, we could start you daily yielding token this month probably. Like
Hmm.
Hodl would hate me, but I think it would be technically possible. But you'd have no point, and the goal isn't to have some sort of runway where us releasing something will pump the token. Because if you've got no purpose, and then suddenly we release it, people who can see or predict we're about to start giving you a purpose might buy up supply and then dump on everyone. Where we saw with Banana, they weren't ready for the babies to all be born,
Hmm.
and there was the big run up, and then the dump. And I'm trying to make sure I'm sure it's really hard to constantly have things coming out, um, just constant things for your token. And I'm sure they were working on all the babies while they were there, and then they had because I was good friends with Al because we worked together on NFT boxes, and I know that they're constantly working. But if we just delay it
Yeah.
a bit, we can have all these systems in place ready for when it's time.
Yeah. Jamie's got the suggestion that at the 1 year anniversary mark could be a good
Jamie,
time.
that's an exact day. Never give an exact day.
Well,
This
Eric's
is
also thanking you for not releasing a token that has nothing to spend on right now. There's all those charts on Twitter, of like POW token. Obviously, the milk token more recently has come out, but there's a lot of these other tokens that come out. There's no reason to buy it yet, and then that sort of hurts the token overall in the ecosystem.
Yeah, and you will always be at least slightly tainted by that, right?
Yeah.
So that we don't want that bad press, that negativity, and like what are people doing with Power Token right now? I assume I'll be honest, I haven't kept up
Earning
too
it.
much.
You're
Yeah,
staking the meta heroes and earning the token as of now.
and that just feels like because they promised that was going to. Well, I say they because Beanie had promised that was coming soon. They kind of had to,
Yeah.
and I'm constantly watching in this space, and I'm learning not only from my mistakes, but what I deem other companies' mistakes. And I'm sure Pixel Vault are huge. They've got so much going on. They've got so many fans, and when they do their town halls, they're packed, hundreds of people in there. So I'm sure they'll be completely fine and get through it. But if I know that doing something too early is going to only have negative effects and no benefits, I'm not going to promise anything. How much liquidity are you providing? None. I don't know how they did that. I don't. Well,
Yeah.
I know how they did it. I don't know who's given them the go ahead. I know they're in the US because I tried to reach out once to Extreme Tom because I know he's in the UK and I'm in the
Mhm.
UK, and I was like, hey, I know you're doing token. I'm looking to do token. Do you want to have a chat? And he just said to me like, sorry, I can't talk about it, which I was quite taken aback by because I've been told by so many people that he was, he's really approachable and happy to help and
Mhm.
has had chats with people. But I just think legally, that
Right.
that was a legal response where there's just, look, I'm sorry, I can't.
Not say the wrong thing kind of idea.
So I think they burn the keys for the liquidity. Like they have no access to it at all is maybe how.
That's what it sounded like to me, where they can't access it. So maybe that is how they did it. They burned it. I don't know specifically, but yeah, I know that was a big talk recently because all these tokens have been coming out and saying they won't provide any sort of liquidity, and then they come out and now they are having liquidity. So it's a little back and forth in that sense, but
I feel like some are just on the bandwagon.
yeah.
When you look at terms and conditions on companies' websites, you can tell that some have just copied others and things like that. So I imagine I know Cool Cats has had legal representation, Pixel Vault, Bored Apes, obviously, and I've said that we've gone and consulted many different countries, lawyer sort of specialists in certain countries. But I imagine lots of these, any company that launches with a token, I
Hmm.
genuinely don't think they've taken legal advice.
Yeah.
It takes ages. From personal experience, it takes ages to go through all these different things that you have to do, and I just don't think. Maybe I know they haven't, but Invisible Friends, they've been hyping long enough that I think if they were going to, they could have, and that's the sort of time it takes. Whereas
Yep.
there's no launch with token that has done anything like that. And I said this around the mutant cats time because obviously they were cats. There was some crossover between our communities, and I made a bet that I think I said in a month's time I bet our floor's higher, and I lost it. They were like
Hmm.
still 1 Ethereum, and we were zero point 0.3 or something. And I looked the other day, and the team's left, and the
Yeah.
community's taken over, but their floor is lower than ours. So I was right, but my time frame was off.
Yeah.
That was the issue there.
Cool. Well, yeah, thanks for hopping on today. I think we got a lot of good information for this roadmap 2.0. Obviously, tomorrow, for those listening, it's going to be the big announcement and all the specifics. But we've talked a little about what you can expect and, hoping for a lot of good to come out of it. Obviously, like full disclosure, I do own some of the purrs, but excited to see how this plays out with the roadmap 2.0. Obviously, roadmap 1.0. I've been along for the ride already. So, is there anything else that you wanted to plug while I had you on?
Uh no, not really. Just we've. I feel like we're one of the projects out there that has delivered and has shown that we do new things. With the Kiddie Vault, it came quite popular after us, but it was us that started that trend. ENS names, they came out of nowhere. ENS
Yeah.
subdomains, and Brantley really tried to fuck that up for me. But
Hmm.
I do think they're going to take the year by storm eventually. It's still February. Um, and the sort of 8 airdrops with fractional ownership. We
Right.
are doing different things, and we will be showing that we will do what other companies do that I think is good as well. So we're just trying to do everything right, and just stop by. You don't have to stop by our Discord if you want to
Yeah.
know what's going on. You go to YouTube and watch all these videos that we put out.
Yep. And I dropped a link in the chat with your link tree. And if anyone wants to check it out, if you don't have any purrs, even if you do have any purrs and you don't know, you haven't seen the website recently or anything like that, definitely check that out. And we'll be sure to keep people up to date on the roadmap as well as part of our project updates. So, yeah, it was great having you on today. And for those watching, I'm going to be on in another about 15 minutes with Tyler to talk about the week in NFTs. But we will definitely keep track of Purrnelope's and watch Roadmap 2.0 over the next few months and
There's a
hopefully
lot of
get a win
demand.
token.
There's a lot of
Yeah.
demand for marbles right now. I hate to say it.
You want a marble race right now?
I'll give away a pair to a winner of a marble race. They're
Oh,
frothing.
okay.
The chat's
Okay.
going wild.
Well, now I have to set up a system for this.
Tigbo offered.
Igbo wants to
I
run it.
read that earlier.
Let's see. Okay, I'll create a little form and then someone can, if they're interested, I'll just throw it in the chat. Okay. Their Discord name, and then get some purrs out here. I'm gonna have to load up the Steam for that.
Guys, look what you've done.
I know now. People like the marble race. right. All right, throwing this in. Chat here. Enter your names in. Is there a specific purr that you want to throw on here? I can bring it up on the screen.
Let me go to my wallet where I've got my giveaway cats. Do I have a special one in here? Let's give away 3865.
All right, showing this. Oh, it's a plunger one.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow, we already have 17 people. I guess you're right. The people want.
Are that many people watching? Wow. I have no idea how to see how many people are watching on this.
Yeah, we have about 30 now.
They've all entered a few times.
Yeah, people have been coming in and out, but let's see. Yeah, but the shill is wondering where Plunge Father is for this plunger giveaway. Okay, let's see. I'll give you guys one more minute to enter in. We're at 23 right now. So 1 in 23 chance at, what'd you say the floor is? It's like 0.35 floor right now. So pretty good chance right there.
Is that the plunger floor? Plunger floor is 0.7.
It's 0.7 for plunger floor?
Yeah. All you have to do is put it at 0.69 and then shill it to Plunge Father. You get yourself free money.
Yeah, I mean, I think Plunge Father has a few plungers, if I
got like
remember correctly.
11
11 of them?
Yeah.
Oh wow. So yeah, I'm not sure if you're gonna be getting it to him for him.
He might have his bags packed.
Yeah, he's already pretty packed bags. All right, let's see. All right, we're at 27, so I'm gonna start entering them in. And so Ez is saying if he wins, he's gonna pay it forward. We'll see if that's true.
He's a known liar.
Oh, known liar. Wow. Okay, let's see. We got Pooh Bear, Buzz. How these names recognize? Some people are throwing in their .pcc.eth. Oh, I guess. I mean, while I'm entering these in, could you just talk a little about the .pcc.eth? I'm sure a lot of people have seen them on Twitter, but maybe don't really fully understand what it is, how it's different from just an ens.eth.
Yeah, so it's a subdomain. So we have pcc.eth. The company owns that, and we sort of pay to continuously have it. And what that allows is for us to then put it as a subdomain. So I am carlini8.pcc.eth. And in my view, it kind of turns your username into a profile picture in a way. My profile picture is a PCC. You can see that just by looking at it. But when you've got a .pcc.eth, that's another way. If you're in two projects, you can show that you rep two projects. You can have one for your profile picture and PCC as your username. It's branding for your username, and it is that's what it is. It is a brand. You're showing who you're with, and it's attached to your cat, so it's also proof of ownership. So you often see, these Twitter bots. You get
Yeah.
liked by BAYC7261. Sorry if that's anyone in the chat's ape. Just a random number. But they just steal a picture. They just say it. But if you stole a .pcc.eth and someone tried to send you, because that is your wallet address. So if you tried to do a deal and you said, "Oh, can you send it to this address, not .pcc.eth," that would be a red flag in my opinion, because you're trying to hide something. You're not actually owning the ape or PCC.
Yeah.
Something along those lines. So it just turns your jumbled wallet into something you can tell people. And then it also allows you to show who you hang out with, or your tribe, or the first Discord you open, and it just says more about you, I guess. Like the way I imagine it is, if Bored Apes did the same, how long would it be until we saw 1,000 on Twitter? 2 days, maybe.
Yeah. So how is it? So it's better than what Twitter has been doing with their hexagons, because you can't just like connect it to a random. You upload a picture and then connect it, because right now Twitter, it doesn't have to be like a verified
Yeah,
account.
just any NFT. All the hexagon proves is that you have an NFT, I guess.
Yeah.
But a .pcc, if you were to then try and use it, it would instantly show up a fake.
Mm-hmm. But we got the kitty is just entered in late. I'll throw you in.
Have you
Couple
have you
last
seen
seconds.
have you seen this cat? It's famous. It's the third most famous animal in London.
Who is the cat on his profile picture?
Keita the kitty.
Yeah, in that in the profile picture that he's using.
Oh, maybe yeah.
Is that the cat?
I sorry, I thought you meant the PCC. No, it's an actual cat, and there's like pictures of the cat with the Queen and Charles and Eiffel Tower and all this.
All right, so the final number here is 38. So we're up to 38. Let's see. Wow, 270,000 followers for Kita in TikTok. So are you getting? Is this one of the partnerships, perhaps?
It's not, but if we could speak to Keita's agent.
Okay, let's see. All right, gonna start this off. Okay, Nacho's in the lead. Is Nacho part of the team?
No, just a friend.
Yeah, when's the Doodle collab going to happen? I know that a lot of similar holders in both those two projects.
Well, I know Poopy really well. We've been
Yeah,
friends since 2017. We were talking about some sort of crossover, but they're just so busy on Space Doodles. Like, it's
yeah.
insane. I've seen sort of a behind the scenes there, and what they're able to do is absolutely insane. It's the craziest NFT imagery I've seen of any profile picture for certain, and maybe any art
Have you
at
looked
all.
into the potential of a non-dilutive for the purrs?
You'll have to find out tomorrow, yes.
Oh, ooh, potentially more alpha there.
I'm just looking at the roadmap now, and almost bang in the middle it says non dilutive.
Oh, See, there's a little more alpha. Good thing that we had this. Oh, there, homies just fell off the map. It was in the lead there.
Oh,
Now
sorry, Homie.
JT's got the lead. Also, just flew off the map. I know Eric had asked for a map that had a lot of drop off potential, so it seems like this one might be good for that.
K-Dub. See
Fell
ya.
off as well. Oh man. Now Fortuna. Not sure if you recognize this name, but has a PCC.eth as well.
Yep.
A lot of PCCs on here. So
another good thing
I
about .pcc.eth is you can, on Twitter, if you just search .pcc.eth and go to people, you instantly have a list of the community that you can follow easily.
Yeah.
And if you go to latest, you can see what the community is saying. It's actually really...
Like a hashtag.
It's almost a Twitter hack. Oh, what is going on?
Oh man, everyone's getting stuck on this last part.
So savage to be at the front and literally trapped.
Yeah. Oh. California Love. Do you recognize that name?
I don't.
Not sure. California, are you in the chat right now? We'll see, and then if not, if I can't find California, or if he's one of those trolls, then it'll go to Fortuna. But
see, here's the thing: I could have, if it was a .pcc.eth, it could already be on the way.
Oh, true. Let's see. California, if you do not respond into the chat right now, then I'm gonna have to give it to Fortuna. Let's see. Oh, it's RA Superstar. That's where I've recognized the name from, because the YouTube is that cool. So I'll get in contact with RA. They've been in a lot of our streams. They hang out in the Club MGMI streams and the Club Top Shot streams. So that's a good one to win as well. I know it's not you, Baltimore. You entered as well.
Actually, that was me.
Yeah. Now everyone's throwing that off, but cool. So I'll get their contact info for you and send it on over, and then we'll get them that per. So cool.
Awesome.
Yeah. Once again, glad to have had you on today. I think people are pretty excited for Roadmap 2.0. Very frothy in the chat.
Excited,
and, yeah. So is that what? Have you noticed that in the Discord as well?
I think it's because we just don't hype. My worry with hyping is if you hype something and you're not actually delivering anything, then all you're doing is up in the floor, and then people buy in higher, and there's no actual additional value for people. But now, we do think we're delivering something, and we're telling people that, and they're like, oh, if they actually think this is something, then it must be big.
Yeah.
So, pretty excited.
Cool. Yeah, so thanks for hopping on. Thanks for the viewers watching and interacting. We got a marble race out of it, which congrats to RA Superstar for winning. I know he always enters into these, and I think that's the first time I've seen him win. So congratulations, and we'll get the per over to you as well. Yeah, Homies is saying he was a top 3 finisher. Does he win anything? But no, we're going with just the winner there.
Homies, you flew off the map. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Maybe Eric will send you one of his kittens. He's got like 100 of those things. So chat with him. You might be interested. I saw him talking about that earlier. But cool. So yeah, maybe we'll be able to do this again sometime further down the roadmap. A little check-in, and we'll chat with that, because I know you're pretty connected with us with NGMI. Maybe I'll bring Dangy on to talk about the purrs. We can give him a quiz
I don't want to talk to Dangy. Don't do that to me.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, that's it for us today. But thanks for watching, everybody.
Awesome.